My name's Catherine Cusack. I'm a Liberal Party member of the Legislative Council, a parliamentary secretary in the tertiary education space. I live on the North Coast. I was elected to Parliament in 2003. I'm here because a most amazing thing happened. The Premier just dropped in without any warning into my office a couple of months ago, and I don't think anyone in Parliament has that experience. I mean, we just didn't think he did that, but suddenly he arrived in my office and sat down and asked me what I thought about the issue of medical cannabis. I said, and I think I'm a bit like some of the other speakers, a bit fresh about it, but I thought he was taking a great position. He'd already visited the Haslam family, and he said, well, I really want to make it happen. I really want your help.
And what were your perceptions about medicinal cannabis? Because being from the North Coast, were you, for example, a little bit more informed about some of the properties around it?
No, I would say I wasn't very informed at all.
So it's been a bit of a journey for you then?
Oh yeah, it's been an amazing experience. I'm obviously very honoured to be asked and really want to do a good job for the people who can benefit and for the Premier.
And really, for us, you're a key person because, for example, you've gone and spoken to David Stevens. You're here. It's important that you're soaking up the right elements over the last 2 days. What sort of elements, I guess, will you be reporting back, or will you be taking into consideration in terms of moving this issue forward?
Yeah, sure. Look, I'm not a member of the Cabinet. The Cabinet will be the ones who make the decision.
So
it's about framing what goes to them.
And as part of that framing, your comments will be
Well, I guess
important.
I wanted to say, first of all, there is no decision at the moment, and Mike will be the one who takes it forward.
Of course, but
what's my input?
But you're part of putting that framework together.
Yeah, sure. Strongly support a way forward on medical cannabis. Greg Barnes takes the view that it is a very simple matter, and politicians shouldn't tell you that it's not a simple matter. It is a simple matter if you're doing full decriminalisation, but that is not the approach that we're taking. So this is a incremental approach to break new ground, if I can put it like that. And so what we are looking at doing is ensuring that maximum benefit can be given as a compassionate policy, which Mike has spoken about to the party room and in the Parliament. There's a lot of people and a lot of stakeholders needing to be convinced. There's big public support for it, and that's what we want to work with. But there's also very strong opposition to decriminalisation, including from the Health Department, and including from many of the law enforcement agencies. So the medical cannabis issue has got great public support, but the wider issue does not. And I suppose in terms of pioneering new ground, the anxiety is that if confidence is lost in what the Premier is attempting to achieve, and it's regarded as some kind of backdoor way to decriminalisation, that will have the potential to derail the entire initiative. And so obviously we do not want that to happen. We want this to go forward. It will be our first step. It's incremental. It will not be what everyone in this room, it will not go far enough for many people in this room, but it will be a beginning into this area.
Well, what did you think of Greg Barnes's comments about scare campaigns, and he sees how they work? Is there any kind of threat around that with this issue? For example, because we're talking about children, initially when the Premier took on this issue, he was looking at terminally ill or compassionate grounds, really addressing a very small sector of people, but now we're hearing stories like Daishas and Cassies and young children being involved. So really, there's a bit of an uprising around that too.
And I feel very embarrassed to say this, but I had no knowledge of the children's epilepsy issue, and I can also tell you it's not visible or well known amongst parliamentarians, and so this has been an amazing revelation to us. And it's been a very moving one, and we want to assist those families.
And as a result, are you likely to consider opening, I guess, the framework in relation to that?
Yeah, look, the two issues are the clinical trials, to get the evidence together to to progress that side of it, which is really a federal area because they're the ones that do the prohibition. So we will be, and we've got other states wanting to join in on this, including Victoria is observing on the Working Party. Norfolk Island has, I think, added your voice, thank you, and ACT as well. So this is where the leadership is coming from. And I think Mike Baird talking to Tony Abbott about it has been a really positive thing. So we want to, but we do, because of the way, it is not a simple political decision when you have a very extensive drug regulation program in Australia going from the TGA, through to the other bodies.
As we heard from David Alsop.
Sorry?
As we heard from David also.
Well, yeah, so this is what we're doing. We'll be investing resources in demonstrating, because can I tell you, the opposition from the health authorities, who are very concerned about the wrong message, as they would call it, about cannabis going out, there is overwhelming view amongst medical authorities that cannabis can have some very harmful side effects, and this means that it's actually a political push to get it progressing this far. This has not been something that politicians have been blocking. It's a reflection, and it's a reflection of genuine anxieties held in the community. And I think part of the humbling experience that I've been through is to realise how much everybody has to learn, because I've certainly been guilty of not knowing enough.